Hello, and welcome to this tutorial. Today we're going to learn how to use Node-RED to create CSV files of common platform enumerations, otherwise known as CPEs, and other ways to search for CPEs and CVEs, which are common vulnerabilities and exposures. Now, Node-RED is a development tool to program in a visual way. Flows contain nodes to break code into smaller, easier to read chunks. So, the first step that you need to do is navigate to the Node-RED website. Here we are, and navigate to the CPE database tab. In this tab, you'll see that the first flow is the Get Possible Product CPEs flow. It has a couple of different nodes in it, but the one that we're going to focus on today is the search product name. So we're going to click on it, and the important part here is the search key. In the search key, you can add your keywords that you need to search for. Today, we're going to search for Siemens Scalens X200. This is the product that you want to search for to see if it exists in the dictionary of common platform enumerations. If it does exist in the CPE dictionary, it likely will have a CVE. If it doesn't have a CVE, it might not exist in the dictionary. So you want to accumulate all of the different products in your database that have a CPE. So for example, Siemens Scalens X200, Microsoft Word, Adobe Reader, these are all different products that you can search for. So when you change your code, so say we're going to search for 200 or 300, then you'll hit done, and that ensures that the code is saved. Normally, you'll see the deploy button turn red here. So let's make sure that it changes. Let's change it to 300 just to see that button light up. You hit done and deploy. So when you click deploy, you'll see a message. Let me see if it'll turn red if I do this. Great. So you hit the deploy button, and you'll see the message that says successfully deployed. Now you'll also want to hit the start button here for the flow that you're working on, and you'll see it successfully injected for that flow. Now it will take around 8 seconds for this flow to work because of this first node that takes about 7 seconds. We won't cover that today, but it is covered in the manual. You'll see in the debug screen right here that your search key, which are the keywords you search for, and how many matches go with match this results. So you can quickly open it to see that you have a couple different, you can click it to see which products are listed, or you can use your you can go to your folder to navigate to the file that has been created, and you'll see those listed in this file. So all of those 15 matches will be listed here in this file. Now let's say that, Now let's say that you want to add some of these to your database. You see here that you have some matching ones. So let's say that none of these matched. So you want to go ahead and delete these. And let's say that you like 5.2.3, but you don't want to limit yourself to just the 5.2.2 and 5.2.3. So you'll delete this one and change this one to a star. That way it can include everything, not just 2, but 3 and any other future builds. So we'll put the star here as well. So it's important to put the star in both parts, and then we'll save this. And it will ask you to keep this format since it's a CSV. Excel files don't like, the Excel doesn't like this file as much, so just go ahead and say yes and exit out. It does it twice sometimes. Now let's go ahead and exit out. And let's say you already had a running database going. So this is your list of all the different products you have found already. So I went ahead and added these two just as a base for us. So I'll exit out of this, go ahead and save it as well. So the next thing that we're going to look at is the following node in Node-RED, which we'll go back to here, and it's the merge CPE results with total CPEs. So this one takes all of the different CPEs that you just found and edited and merges it to your ongoing database. This is important so once you get a really large database, you can merge seamlessly all of your new CPEs without adding any duplicates. And this one should be really quick. We'll just go ahead and click on it, and it'll say injected successfully. And you can see here the ones that were added to the database. You'll see that the new CPEs match the CPE list. That means that there weren't any duplicates, which is great. And finally, in this Node-RED page, we're going to look at this last node, which is a convert CSV to text file. When you are running your PowerShell script, which we won't talk about today, this script requires a text file. So it changes all of the products that you have in a CSV file and it converts it to text so that the PowerShell script can read it. Now this is important because when you're working with your CSV file, it's a lot more convenient than a text file. You can obviously sort it, organize it, and do anything in the Excel file, which you cannot do in a text file. And then the text file is easier to read for the script. So we'll go ahead and run this, and it's also going to be instant. You don't have to wait 7 seconds like the previous node. And you'll see here the payload, which is just the results, is a truncated version of the file. So everything in a text version. So moving on from that, actually let me open it for you so you can see. It is in your XML folder. You'll see all products that in that text is the file that is created. Now you want to keep it in this format. You can change all products to different names, such as if you're only looking for Siemens brands or whatever condition that you want, but you do want to keep the in.text. And as you can see, that file that we had, that CSV file, this is everything that was in it, but in a text version of that Excel sheet. Now we've covered Node-RED, search product CPEs, merging search results, and convert to text file. Now, when in that original file, in that original node, you see this create CSVs in 7 seconds. Now this actually creates a file, a CSV file of all of the dictionary with only the names and CPE items. Since it's originally an XML file that's quite large, this is actually really convenient to search. Now it doesn't create it every time because the code is commented out. So if for some reason you don't have this file and you want to recreate it, you just uncomment the code and run it, and then comment it out again so it doesn't run every time you run the search. So I do have that file open right here, and as you can see, it's every single product that is in the dictionary. So you can use this to look for different products. If you're not coming up with any search results, you can search it here, and you see some products are named by the product name, and some are by the model number. So if you're not coming up with anything by searching the name, you can see here what kind of pattern that they're using to find that product. Sometimes there are misspellings, and it's all of the products are manually entered, so there can be some discrepancies, which can be hard to know unless you look directly through the file. And again, this file is pretty large, so instead of using the search function, which could take an excessive amount of time, you can scroll to the brand that you're looking for and see what kind of options they have here. All right, so the next one that we're going to look at is actually using this NIST website. So you're going to navigate to the website and use the search bar. Now, this is actually a last resort kind of thing for me because this website often crashes or times out. I do not like to use it. I prefer using the downloaded version that's on your local drive as opposed to using the website since it is not well maintained. So we're going to look for Siemens Scalence X200. Now, the reason that we got different results in the Node-RED file is because we searched for the X200 with no spaces or anything in here. So we only got the results where X and 200 were side by side, but there are different results as far as dashes, spaces, different things like that will yield you different results. So as you can see, the search is a little bit slow. It will take some time to give results if it gives results at all. While that loads, I'm going to look at the next step that we're going to talk about, which is also searching for CVEs. So let's go back to where we are and see if it's loaded. No, unfortunately, it did have a timeout error. This is why I constantly say that it's much easier to use the dictionary that's in your local drive as opposed to using the online version of the dictionary since it does constantly have timeout errors and issues. And this is a great time to show that to you guys because it has been a hassle. So let's give it another try. And if it doesn't work, then I'll just go over the manual with you instead of using the website since it's possible that it could be down for an extended period of time. Unfortunately, the website is down, which is a constant problem. So we're going to look over the manual instead and I'll walk you step by step with it here. So when you're searching for the CVEs, if you search for Siemens Scalence X200, you'd see these results. You'd see this in your results. And you would click View CVEs directly from the search results. Or if you wanted to look at some more information inside of the CPE results, you would hit CPE usage. Under that is View Vulnerabilities, and this is to see the CVEs. And you can also see your search results from either one of those methods, and you'll see the results. You'll see a vulnerability ID, the summary of that vulnerability, when it was published, and as well as the severity. Now we're using version 3.0, so you'll see that this CVE's score is a 4.8, which is a medium. Now, if you would click on that CVE, you would click on the name right here, and it would take you to a page with the same information, but at the bottom of the page, you would also see some known affected software configurations. This includes all the CPEs that match the CVE, so any products that are affected by this vulnerability would be listed here. So this would be a convenient way to find any enumerations that you weren't able to find using a search, the Node-RED search, the website search, or even the CSV. Because sometimes it has different names, or even it might fall under a different brand that you weren't expecting because there's different ownerships of the products. So you'd see which versions of the product are included, and you can click on these and it'll take you to the version name, or sometimes it doesn't let you click on it, but you can see which products there are and copy them over to your master list of CPEs. Now also, let's go back a little bit to this page here for the search results. When you're searching for a CPE, the platform enumeration, you can search the same way you did with Node-RED with different keywords, and you'll see the search results. It'll tell you how many matches there are, the vendor, which is basically just a CPE, and then you can see the view CVEs that we mentioned here earlier, and which product it's using. And sometimes you'll actually also see the version, but more than likely you're not going to see the version. And for that exact title that you want to add to your product CPE list, your master list, you can click on the name, and at the bottom you'll see the metadata, and you can copy and paste the text of the title. So that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for joining me.